Good morning, everybody. So I want to go over something that I have seen a lot online because it happened Friday, and I just want to give you my take on it. Governor DeSantis has a proposal out there to increase the exemption amount for homesteaded property. Homesteaded property in Florida means your main residence. What we have right now is we have what we call an assessed value, let's say 300,000, just to use some numbers, right? If you have a homesteaded property in Florida, you get some exemptions that are applied up to $50,000. So they'll take $50,000 off that $300,000, giving you a taxable value of $250,000. So all of your property taxes are based on this $250,000 number. What they're proposing is increasing that exemption amount to $250,000. So if you have a $300,000 assessed value property and you get a $250,000 exemption, then that means your taxable value is $50,000. So it's definitely helpful for people who live in Florida. Florida is their main residence for more than half the year, and they have a big taxable amount. So this is designed to help reduce that. As we know in Florida, taxes and insurance are some of the most expensive things that you can have. And giving up insurance on your property in Florida, although people do self-insure from time to time, may not be the best idea because all it takes is one big hurricane or one big storm, or even our regular summer storms can take down a tree or something and you end up with damage on your property. So this is one of the ways that they're trying to help combat the affordability issue when it comes to buying homes. So I want to show you this graphic here. It says the Save Our Homes proposal will exempt homestead properties from taxation with the first $250,000 of a homestead's value from being exempted. It is still going to ensure funding for core services such as public safety, education, infrastructure, and natural resources. It is also ensuring fairness for Florida residents. And then they are also proposing to create a state trust fund to assist with core local services. So if you own a property or you ever plan to own a property, this could be a very good thing. Plus, it will help down the road to improve affordability when it comes to home ownership and maintaining a home. So it's not just about purchasing the home, but it's about maintaining the home. And one of the reasons why this was even proposed to begin with is, as we know in Florida, we have a lot of retirees who are on fixed income, and yet the homeowners insurance costs keep going up. Property taxes keep going up, and they're really struggling to live in their homes still and keep their homes. Not every person has a mortgage. There are people who have lived in their home for more than 30 years. They've paid their mortgage off or they purchased in cash. But property taxes and home insurance, those are almost inevitable when it comes to owning a home, whether you're in Florida or elsewhere, but this is specifically related to Florida. So right now, the Florida property tax proposal is to increase the exemption amount to $250,000 with a future exemption target of $500,000 off that assessed value. Now, who's going to benefit from this? Any Florida homeowners with a homestead exemption on their primary residence. Remember, you can only have one homestead exemption. It has to be on your main home. Homes that are valued under $250,000 could owe zero property taxes under the initial phase. At the $500,000 level, an estimated 92% of Florida homeowners would pay no property tax. Then it talks again about the new 5-year residency requirement. So to receive the full new homestead exemption amount, you have to be a Florida resident for 5 years. Does that mean that you have lived in that same home for 5 years? Or maybe you were renting, as Florida being your main state of residence? And from the time that you have been renting to the time that you purchase has been 5 years, we'll have to see what comes out in the end, right? This does not benefit rental properties or investment properties. It doesn't benefit vacation homes or commercial properties. So those are excluded from this property tax proposal. So I want you to keep that in mind, because if you own a second home in Florida or you have a few investment properties, it does not apply. It only applies to your main home that you live in yourself for more than half the year. Also, I want you to know that this is just a proposal. This is not yet law. It still has to be approved by the Florida legislature. It still has to be placed on the November ballot as a constitutional amendment. And it has to receive 60% of voter approval in order for this proposal to pass and become law. So, what that is telling me is that we need to get out there in November and vote to approve this, assuming that it all stays the way that it is right now. I really feel like the way it's being proposed and being addressed right now, that it could be a really great benefit for Florida homeowners. All right, so one thing under additional details that I definitely want you to pay attention to is that it says here local governments may adjust non-ad valorem assessments. So, non-ad valorem taxes typically cover specific local services and infrastructure projects that directly benefit your property. So, unlike the standard property taxes, which is what they're trying to eliminate, they are not based on your home's value, but on a flat, equitable benefit unit. So, that could be things like fire and rescue, stormwater management, street lighting, schools, and things like that. So just keep in mind that even though this property tax proposal is looking to eliminate your standard property taxes, it does not eliminate the non-ad valorem taxes. So everybody may still possibly have a tax bill, but it's not going to be at the same rate as what it's been in the past if this proposal gets approved. So one more thing that I want to point you to is this website. It is called saveourhomesfl.com. I'm going to put the QR link for you, so that way you can scan it directly if you'd like. But again, saveourhomesfl.com. So what this website allows you to do is to enter in your property address and see what kind of tax savings you might actually receive from this proposed amendment. And I also want to give a shout out to Cole Barlow with Movement Mortgage. He's the one who sent this website to me and gave me the opportunity to share it with you. So I hope that that helps a little bit with understanding property taxes, how they work currently, what this proposal may offer to us, and the pros and cons of it. Have a great day.